Good afternoon to you. If you're tuned in to Love 101 FM, you're tuned into the right station. I'm Victor Brown. You're tuned to Alive. I'll be sticking around with you from about 1 this afternoon straight up to about 5 p.m. How's your Tuesday going? Coming up in Alive today, we're going to be having Menticize. It's a rollover, and will we be doing the answer today? We're doing the answer today, guys. So we're still allowing some guessing. We're still allowing some folks to get in the answers that they didn't get yesterday when I was here. But you can look forward to the answer today, right? Inside Prayer Blast with Alton Reed of St. John's Road Church of God. That's coming up at 2 p.m. And in the evidence, we'll be hearing the testimony of Sandra Scully, who battled with suicidal thoughts, revenge, and hatred for many years. Behind the Pulpit at 3 p.m. with recording gospel artist and pastor of the International Faith in Action Ministry, Stephen Shalom Harper. And of course, the usual celebrations, giving shout outs to birthday greetings and anniversary celebrations this afternoon inside Alive. I guess yesterday was just stuff what I had to pop back in today, right? To be substitute teacher for one more day. A joke. And of course, we can't leave out small people at 4 p.m. to 4:30 with Auntie Colleen. Here are the highlights from the news at this time. First up, Ocho Rios primary vice president. And there was a situation, as you guys would have been aware, with, between a parent's child, a child at the Ocho Rios primary school and the VP, some fighting situation. So the parent has been charged over the physical altercation that took place. The vice principal of Ocho Rios primary school and the parent, both of them, so they were both involved in a physical altercation at the institution yesterday. They have both been charged, and the police have confirmed this. So this is not a rumor; it's actually, it's fact. They are each charged with assault occasioning bodily harm arising from the incident. It is reported that yesterday the mother went to the school and allegedly confronted the VP in an effort to retrieve her child's cell phone, which was seized by a teacher, resulting in an altercation. Teachers at the school later staged a protest in solidarity with their vice principal. It is reported that the child was using the phone in class and the classroom. Teacher seized it and turned it over to the VP. A student who knows the child used his cell phone to call the child's mother. Used the child's cell phone to call the child's mother, who is said to work in Ocho Rios. The mother later turned up at the school and demanded the return of the cell phone. It is unclear what transpired to trigger the altercation. Do we really need a lot more details to understand what triggered the altercation, though? Because, if a parent turns up at the school and a student's phone has been seized and then, they have a standoff of sorts. We know how Jamaicans are, right? We tend to be very, how do we put this? We tend to be very, very, very passionate in our beliefs about, when we're standing on what we believe is right, when we're standing on where we believe we are right, when we're standing in a situation where we feel like we are right about something, we tend to be very passionate. And so that can very easily escalate into something that becomes physical or becomes a verbal exchange, yeah? I don't think we need a whole lot of details to kind of ascertain or understand why this situation became physical. Although it is unfortunate because, I'm sure that it should have been able to have been, as we call it, switched out, or a conversation should have been had, a dialogue between the VP and the parent, and hopefully things would have been resolved. But it's unfortunate. It became physical, and they were both charged. I would say a couple of takeaways for us. Parents instruct and guide the children that when they're going to school, if they're going to be using their phones at school, that they should only use them in accordance with the school rules. If the rules of the school are that the student should not be using it in the class during class time, then of course, that shouldn't be happening. And so as a parent, you can't go to a school and, charge at a VP or a teacher because they've seized the child's phone in accordance or in keeping with school rules, right? So that's something we can watch out for. And then, of course, teachers and persons in school administration have to also be understanding as best as possible and learn how to de-escalate situations with angry parents. Because parents can get angry whenever they feel that their little children are being violated or, being picked up on. Next news highlight, prominent businessman Dr. Marshall McGowan Hall has died. Hall, who was 88 years old, died early this morning. Hall was most recognized for his association with the Jamaica Producers Group Limited, where he served as director for over 40 years and as a group managing director for 27 years. Jeffrey Hall, his son and the current chief executive officer of Jamaica Producers Group, has reflected on his father's passing. We do pray for the comfort of the hearts of the family of Sir Hall today. It's never easy losing a loved one, even if you don't know the family or don't know the person. I mean, it's never easy. It's always an unfortunate thing. It's always a sad thing. So we pray that their hearts will be encouraged and they will be comforted in this time of grieving and mourning. Next news highlight, a 56-year-old was charged for fatal Westmoreland stabbing during dispute. Detectives in Westmoreland have charged 56-year-old Fitzroy Frey in relation to a fatal stabbing of a man in Old Road in Moreland Hill on Saturday. Frey was charged with murder on Monday, November 21. That was yesterday. A court date is being finalized. The police report that Frey and 36-year-old Kish Evans had a dispute, during which Frey allegedly used a knife to stab him several times. The police were summoned and Evans was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Frey fled the area on foot. He was subsequently located and arrested by the cops, who conducted an operation at his home. According to the police, a knife with blood stains was also taken from him. At 56 years old, though, you have to kind of learn self-control by that time. No? So it's interesting because the Bible usually associates hot-headedness with youth. In Proverbs, when you read through Proverbs, you hear about the very ill-tempered young man. You hear about the hot-headed young man. You hear about a young man who doesn't yet know wisdom. He hasn't yet learned self-control and that sort of thing. And so there's an expectation that with age you get more mature. So but to me, that 56 is supposed to be able to talk out a situation, no man. And so whenever I hear people saying, age is maturity, I say that is so, it could not be further from the truth. Age should be maturity. You should be growing while you're aging, but aging and growing are two entirely different things. I know very old children and I know very young adults. I know people who are aged, they've just been around for a long time existing, but they haven't been developing and growing and maturing. And then the converse is also true. I know youngsters, young people who, because of life circumstances or their training and upbringing, they're very mature, they're very poised, and they carry a sort of wisdom that is beyond their years. It's unfortunate that this gentleman could not talk out the situation, and the result of it is a fatality, and someone is dead because of it. So, moral of the story once more for us: try to be patient, try to de-escalate things, try to talk things up before they get to something physical or something more serious. Yes? And we do applaud and commend the law enforcement authorities for doing their job. The FLA suspends, this is the next and final news headline here, or highlight. The FLA suspends the permit of a man in New Kingston gun video. Yes, I saw this video and I was wondering what would become of it. The man seen in social media video or in a social media video pointing his licensed firearm at a woman in New Kingston has had his permit suspended. The Firearms Licensing Authority, FLA, has confirmed. The weapon was surrendered to the FLA yesterday. The agency confirmed the man's identity has not been publicly disclosed. It's believed that the incident occurred in New Kingston last Saturday. It shows a man pulling a firearm from his waistband and pointing it at a woman who was advancing toward him. According to the FLA, the license will remain suspended, pending the outcome of an investigation. I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it, guys, because when I first heard about the incident and then I saw the video, and I mean, it's tricky. It's tricky because Jamaica is such a, can be a dangerous place at times. And here is somebody, you don't know if this person is of sound mind, you don't know, what this person might be carrying. You just don't know. And this person is advancing toward you, and in the video, the gentleman is saying, stop. He's like telling the person, leave me alone. He's motioning with his hands. But then I was surprised to see this gentleman, dip and take out him thing and start point at the person. And I'm just like, hold on one sec. Because I'm short, right? Fine, I'm short. But this guy clearly is big. He's not huge, but he's taller. And he has body. So I'm saying, all right, so a little frail, homeless person is coming toward this. A female, fine, you can't take anything for granted. But geez. You couldn't walk around her? I mean, I'm not convinced that he had to go to the firearm that quickly. Personally, I don't think he was in any threat of imminent harm. I think he could have just tried to, just walk around her or something. But in any event, I'm glad he surrendered the weapon, and now his license has been suspended, and so that's the way it should be. There should be these persons who are licensed firearm holders need to be held accountable. That's all the time we have inside the news headlines today. News highlights here in Alive. Want to say hey and shout out to some persons on our Facebook page and YouTube. Barbara Gray, good afternoon. Jean Watson, Beverly Tulloh, how are you doing? Melanie Johnson, Elmore Dinnell, Josette Palmer. Good afternoon to you all. Winsome Stennett, Charlene Edwards, Kalia Rose, and Shirla Winter. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Tuesday afternoon, yes? Glad to have you locked into the family station Love 101. Pretty excited about Alive today. I'll tell you guys why in a little bit. See the police are chuckling. Marvin Miller, Ray Finn, Andreen Montague. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to Alive. Sonia Brown, Marlene DaCosta, and Sandra Ellison, and Elaine Levy. How you doing, guys? Hope everything is fantastic on your end. Wherever you're tuned in from. The persons who joined us earliest, Dan Walters, Munchie Mason. Munchie Mason. I'm Munchie Mason. How you doing? Ricardo Porcius. Freddie Bless, Idona Howell. Is it Idona Howell? Yes, Idona Howell. Good afternoon to you all. Winston King, Yvonne Scott, Dwayne Tracy, Mr. Confidence, how you doing? welcome, Hortense Facey, Ishamar Williams, and Lorna Daly. Welcome. Greetings to you all. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned, guys. We have quite a bit lined up for you inside of life today.